What's up, guys? I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never, and welcome back to another market update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so I know I've been doing a lot of market updates recently, but I'm just going to continue doing them because there was a lot of panic in the market. So you'll notice right now that Bitcoin and Ethereum have had another decent drop since my last market update. Bitcoin's down to 111,500 and Ethereum is back under 4,000. Now what's interesting is if you look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, it's actually back to 41. You'll see that yesterday was 39, so it's kind of interesting because most of the market still closed red. So it's a little bit strange to see that the Fear and Greed Index actually bounced. But regardless, the market's selling off a little bit. If you watch my last update, it's not surprising though. I'll just simply go over some Ethereum technical analysis. So when you look at Ethereum on the weekly time frame, I've had this bull flag drawn for several weeks at this point, and I've been saying that it makes perfect sense to see more consolidation. The reality is that price action is trading way above all of these moving averages, and the RSI and stochastics were getting very overbought. The stochastics were pinned in the overbought region since the end of May. That is a long time to be pinned in the overbought region. And after a long enough period of time, these moving averages start to work as magnets. So it would not be surprising at all to see price action come down and retest the 21-day moving average. And whether or not we would actually drop down to this level or if we would just see more consolidation until this level starts to creep up. But basically what I'm looking for is similar to what Bitcoin had. So if you look at Bitcoin, it was in a similar situation. It had this initial breakout and then price action consolidated for a while. And then you can see it came down here and had a textbook bounce off this white line. That's the 21 weekly moving average. That's a very similar situation to what I'm looking for with Ethereum. Again, there's no guarantee that we just drop straight down to it, but don't be shocked if we do retest this level. Where things are a little bit interesting is when you look at Ethereum on the daily time frame. And the main reason things are interesting is because when you look at the RSI. So you'll notice that the RSI has not been this oversold since June. This is a very strong bullish divergence. Price action is clearly swinging up into a higher low, whereas the RSI is swinging down into a lower low. Or at least right now it's a double bottom. But one or two more red candles and it'll clearly be a lower low. And oftentimes bullish divergence can signal a bottom. And it's not even just this bullish divergence right here. This is also clearly swinging up into a higher low, whereas this is swinging down into a lower low. So depending on where you want to look at it from, there are two strong bullish divergences. Again, that can often signal a bottom. So that's definitely something to keep your eyes on for Ethereum. And when you are looking at the weekly time frame, we're also still clearly holding above support. And I've been talking about this for a long time, but as long as price action can hold above this 3,800 to 4,100 range, then I think that'll be very bullish. That could be a textbook support and resistance flip. Previous resistance now becomes support. So to be honest with you, I still think Ethereum looks very good. And what you really have to understand about the market right now is this right here. I've brought this to your attention many times in the past, but the same thing is just continuing to happen. You can see that Binance is sending supply to Wintermute. Most of these dips that we see in the market are just pure manipulation. It's very important that you understand that because there are a lot of people who are panicking right now and a lot of people are going to get shaken out of their conviction plays. But the reality is that when the market is being manipulated, your conviction plays aren't going to pump. You just have to understand that. So make sure you know what you actually hold. From a high cap standpoint, a lot of high caps are holding up pretty well right now. And this is where it's kind of fascinating because if you just think about Ethereum, for example, Ethereum is just under 4,000. It was only back in April that Ethereum was $1,380 a coin. And people are panicking right now given that it's at 3,985. If you were to ask people back in April if they thought Ethereum would be at $3,980, they would have said not a chance. A lot of people thought that Ethereum was completely dead. And now we're seeing panic just after a little pullback, which is crazy. And then you look at something like BNB, it's at $992. For the last several days, it's been over $1,000 a coin. You can see that it actually reached its new all-time high 4 days ago at $1,080. And it's down just over 8%. So we're seeing a lot of the high caps doing very well right now. However, the lower you scroll down, a lot of these projects are still bleeding. SWI, for example. SWI has been one of the hottest projects this entire cycle. And you can see that it hasn't broken an all-time high for 9 months and it's down 40% from its all-time high. Now, definitely if you come over here to the meme coin market, you're seeing a lot of blood everywhere. You look at Dogecoin as an example. Dogecoin is down 68% from its all-time high 4 years ago. And again, yes, I understand Dogecoin is a little bit different because of the supply dilution. But if you look at PEPE, one of the hottest projects this cycle, PEPE is down 66% from its all-time high 10 months ago. You scroll down to one of the strongest projects on Base, Toshi, and Toshi is down 67% from its all-time high 8 months ago. My point to all of this is just to make sure you understand that it's not an issue with your conviction plays. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for all of your guys' conviction plays. Some of them are naturally not great projects. I hate to break it to you, but that's just the reality. But if you guys are in high quality projects, it's not an issue with those specific projects. We just aren't seeing most of the altcoin market pumping right now. It is pretty much only the high caps that are doing anything. But honestly, that's about it for the update today. I really just wanted to make this video because I'm still seeing a lot of panic everywhere. It's very important to understand that a lot of these dips are due to manipulation. Make sure you understand that. Know what you hold. But if you guys are interested in market updates and just getting into projects super early in general, then I always recommend taking a look at my Discord as well. We're in the market 7 days a week, and we've also been getting into projects super early this entire cycle. Some of these plays you could have turned $1,000 into over $200,000. And it is my belief that we're just getting started. It's important to remember that we just had rate cuts. But if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. I'd love to have you guys in here with us. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about the market. If you enjoyed this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.